The Unmarked by Matt Fleagle, Chapter 8, Claws and Axes. Kaleb left Terrashine feeling stronger and happier than he had been in many years. The warden's dance had kindled a courage in him that made him feel like one of the bold heroes in an old Dellblood wives' tale. Not to mention that sitting in a place of honor at a banquet, even at a table crowded by furry paws and rubbery skin, made him feel for the first time like a person valued for something other than chopping and hauling timber like a slave. But Kaleb's excitement waned as the sun rose and the hot hours crawled past. Trudging up the ascent of a poorly blazed trail through the forest, miles to the west of Glenwood and Terrashine, Kaleb's thighs and feet began to ache. Like those aches, new doubts started to swell within him. Kaleb began to question once more whether he was fit for any adventures at all. His role in this mission remained unclear. He had no skill for spying, fighting, or planning a military campaign. After all, he recalled with embarrassment, Glista had crept up on him in the night without the slightest notice on his part. The trained scout could have killed him in a flash, had she not had a purpose for keeping him alive. To make matters worse, the bear had been puffing warm, smelly breath on the back of Kaleb's neck. The added heat made Kaleb sweat profusely. After an hour of silence, the bear spoke up. "So, hairless one," said the bear, its tongue lolling in and out of its cavernous throat. "How exactly are you to help us capture this stone render?" "I don't know," said Kaleb without looking back at the beast. "You can't run as fast as me or Taba, and you have no claws." "I have an axe," Kaleb said, adding under his breath, "Isn't that at least as good as claws?" Kaleb knew nothing of animals' keen sense of hearing. The moment these last words left his lips, the monstrous bear lunged upon Kaleb from behind. In one quick motion, the bear flung Kaleb to the ground and pinned the young man's shoulders to the cold, hard earth under its gigantic paw. A tawny, razor-sharp nail grazed the edge of Kaleb's left cheek. Kaleb tried to wriggle free. He managed to get enough range of motion to crane his neck toward the axe lying uselessly on the ground some 4 feet from his right hand. The bear let out a gloating chuckle, beads of saliva dripping out of its open mouth and onto Kaleb's face. "Where is your axe now?" Glista, who was several yards ahead of them, heard the commotion and ran back to where the bear had pinned Kaleb to the forest floor. "Why do you waste time, Grimwit? You know as well as I that Fallwrinkle would not have sent the boy with us if you were not vital to our mission in some way." The bear grunted in protest. Just then, the wolf's shiny black snout appeared next to Grimwit's, looking down curiously at Kaleb's red, drool-smeared face. In a soft voice, the she-wolf said, "Let him stand, Grimwit." The bear lifted his heavy paw from Kaleb's chest, and Kaleb sucked in a long breath of clean air. As he propped himself up on his elbow, his eyes met Tava's for an instant. Kaleb saw what he thought might be sadness in the wolf's deep blue eyes. "He will get a chance to prove his worth soon enough," the wolf added. She crossed over to where Kaleb's axe lay. Picking up the crude handle in her mouth, she crossed the path again and laid the tool near the log splitter's right hand. Kaleb rose and picked the axe up off the ground. "Men," Kaleb heard the bear grumble under its breath as it lumbered past. "What are men good for but to wreck kingdoms and turn innocent beasts into slaves?" "Keep up," Glista shouted from farther down the path. "We have no time to spare for settling ancient scores. It's almost daylight." Glista and the gray bear disappeared around the corner into a wider lane that parted the forest trees. Kaleb was brushing some debris from his tunic when he felt the warm bristle of the wolf's soft fur against his leg. Alarmed, he glanced down at her. "I also question the wisdom of bringing you on this expedition," she said. "It is not safe for you, as slow and defenseless as you are." She paused for a moment. "But I trust the warden, and more than that, I know that the forest spirit does not fail. You have time yet to prove yourself today." She turned, and on quiet paws trotted off onto the path ahead of them. Kaleb picked up his tired feet and stumbled after her, still catching his breath and nursing his wounded pride.